very shocked. But there are rumors, so we just have to wait and see what happens. So moving on to the next position. So far we've done the two tens, the number eights, and now we're going to be talking about the all important center back. Marc Guehi, the leader, one of the captains, the captain for Crystal Palace, eventually is going to leave the club. So many suitors right now. Currently, Liverpool are the team that are on his case. Newcastle have come in before. Chelsea have come in before. So that's how we know that this is a sought after center defender that would be able to elevate or maintain the levels at any top level Premier League club. So he's gonna leave. The question is who we gonna bring in. Um, I was debating between two options. One was the younger one from Europe, but they're both actually from Europe. One has Prem experience, the other does not. One is younger, one is older, and it's between Usman Diomande and Fikayo Tomori. So Crystal Palace, recently brought in Maxime Lacroix from Wolfsburg, and so far so good. He's been playing well. I think they also have the American defender Richards, who's had a decent season so far. He's also been performing well. So the question for me is like, do we want to bring in a young center back? I don't know if we would prefer to bring in a young center back, but with the way Sporting has been moving, they'll probably want to collect a substantial fee for him. But really and truly, for Crystal Palace to be able to maintain and even, dare to dream to improve on their position in the Premier League, they sometimes need to like take that big step. And I think who I'd like to go for to be that really big step for Crystal Palace would be Osman Diomande, the young Sporting centre back, and I'm going to be doing 55 million for him. So Guam, who's your pick for centre back for Crystal Palace?
I want to say first, those were amazing choices. I like the Fikayo shout a lot. I think that is an opportunity. There is an opportunity there that
Yeah,
most people will be seeing.
yeah.
Fikayo brings a lot of experience. Winner in Italy, played in the Prem already. Chelsea grown up, and intangibles that would bring a high level of standards to Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
So I was very interested in that pick. But my pick is actually someone that they had just last season, Trevor Chalobah. That is my pick. I
Mm,
think Trevor was quite successful during his loan there and showed amazing stuff. And Trevor, Trevor, the problem with the transfer is Chelsea. Chelsea is a bit of a tough club to negotiate with these days. Trevor, if you look on estimated fees for what Trevor should go for, you'd be looking at 25. And Crystal Palace were familiar with their setup, and he has already performed well. And with Chelsea right now, he's still performing. So I think that's who I would take the punt on.
I do like the choice. Trevor Chalobah is actually a good one. I did see the fact that he was just at Palace and had gone back to Chelsea because he was on loan. But for some reason, I was thinking Chelsea probably needs some stability in their centre back positions. They're looking at more attackers, so maybe they would want to keep him and try and do competition between their current options. But there is a big chance, and it does make sense for him to make the move to Crystal Palace permanent, considering he had a positive experience there. Barry, who's your pick for centre back for Crystal Palace?
Before I get into my picks, very quickly, I must confess that I also thought about Trevor Chalobah, but knowing that I think Maresca obviously, Maresca obviously noticed that Disasi was not it. And obviously, Disasi also went on loan to Villa, and we know Disasi is on his way out of the club. Um, Renato Vega was not interested in remaining on the bench. He obviously believed he deserved more game time, hence him going to Juventus, and also he'll be on his way out. That's why Maresca brought back Trevor Chalobah. But here's the thing: I do not think Trevor Chalobah has signed a contract extension with Chelsea yet. So it's a It for me, it should be a possibility. But knowing that Chelsea recalled him, Trevor obviously is a long-time Chelsea fan. He has been used immensely since he returned. He can play more than one position. I don't think Enzo Maresca would let him go. Ousmane Diomande that Toby mentioned, um, 2 weeks ago, it was reported that there was an agreement between Sporting Lisbon and Crystal Palace. If
Oh,
Diomande does join, he's going to be the record signing for Crystal Palace. So my assumption is that that deal is probably stalling because the deal for Guehi is yet to be done with.
yeah.
And yeah, so that's what my thinking is. But then aside these options that everyone else has mentioned, for me, I've got two options in mind. I say two options because Trevor Chalobah did leave and he wasn't replaced, and then Guehi obviously would be leaving. So I've got like two options that should be coming in, and they are both French centre backs. But the reason why I'm going for them is because I know that they will thrive in this system under Oliver Glasner. My first pick is Loic Badi. He plays for
Mhm.
Sevilla. He's very decent. He has a lot of first team experience. He was with the French team last year, for the Olympics, and he was very impressive. And he's been rumored to possibly join other big clubs. But I do think Loic Badi would be affordable. A good 40 to 50 million pounds would get you Loic Badi for sure. My second option is Castello Luqueba, who plays for RB Leipzig. I take a look at the profiles of the centre backs that play for Crystal Palace as the RCBs and the LCBs. They are ball playing centre backs, and for me, Loic Badi and Castello Luqueba would be perfect. Joachim Anderson was previously at Crystal Palace, so knowing and understanding the type of centre backs that Crystal Palace would love, for me, I think Loic Badi and Castello Luqueba would be great for Crystal Palace.